how in tune were you like in seeing the bigger picture? Like, were you looking at it since the beginning of you being a producer, or is it something you learned like overall
Yeah,
over time?
I learned it over time because in the beginning I didn't even know how the industry works, you know, like there's so much going on the back end, you know, on the business side, you know. I had to learn about royalties, like what's the difference between publishing and the master side, you know, which side pays more and how much more, and like what are some standard rates that producer can expect from like bigger artists, smaller artists, labels, no labels, you know. And I really went in depth, you know, and learned and educated my way on that end, and that really helps out, you know. You like there are way more ways to like make a living off of this than just selling beats on the front end, you know, with those one way payments, you know, one time payments. So yeah, I think that's very important as a producer.
Definitely. And I think a lot of producers forget about that because of like the business models behind like BeatStars and YouTube and you know what I'm saying? I think people see like the immediate amount you can make up front, which in the
Mm.
long run isn't not as nearly as much as like going 50-50 on splits or whatever. Well, it also depends on the song and the streams and you know what I'm saying? But overall for sure, I think people look at the upfront money as something that could be worth more even though in the next year or two you could be collecting way more over time. So it's a give and a trade, and again, to each his own. Like I understand if somebody wants the money up front, or if they would rather take it from the back end, you know, or both, you know. So I just want to ask like a philosophical question, but like, what's one belief about producing that changed for you?
One more time. What's one belief about producing that changed?
Yeah, for you.
Like what was something that I thought about producing that has changed along the way? Like,
Yeah.
um, damn, that's a good one. Yeah, I think the most important thing that I learned is it's like it's not just making beats, man. It's not just the music. Like, you're a businessman, you know, and that's something that you don't realize in the beginning. Like making music is such a small part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, at the end of the day, you're like you're a company, you know, you're your own manager, and you have a product to sell. Even though you like that's the last thing you want to hear as an artist, you know. You just want to focus on the sonics and the composition and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, if the right person doesn't get to hear that, like you're not gonna get that song that you dream about, you know. So at the end of the day, it's much more business than music, unfortunately. But I think that when you got the business on lock and you got that business set straight, then you can shift back and focus much more on the music again. So that's something that I, take pleasure in knowing too. Yeah.
Hmm. Does the business side of things ever take away from the creativity for you?
Yeah, it does because it takes time, it takes energy, you know, it takes effort. So definitely, yeah, you have to do a lot of things that are not music related, you know, but you still have to do them, and that takes away from your time to produce, you know, and focus on your craft and hone it. So yeah, it does.
How much of your energy would you like are you giving right now and would you suggest to producers? For example, would you give 50% to the creativity side and then 50% to the business or 60-40? Like what is it for you?
I would say in the beginning, like really go just 100% on the sound. Like when you're just starting, just don't even think about the business, man. Maybe the first year, just focus on your craft, you know, focus on your mixing, focus on your sound selection, on the composition, the music theory, all that kind of stuff. Study the greats, you know, try to emulate what they're doing, try to understand what they're doing and make it your own. And when you come to that point that you're like, okay, I have like enough confidence in my ability to produce and my productions, then slowly try to, change that balance and go like almost maybe 50-50. Yeah, I would say somewhere around 50-50, you know, like really stay creative, stay making music, you know, but also get out of there, you know, network, try to focus on your brand, you know, build your Instagram up and like really come up with like what kind of visual brand you want, how you want to look like, how you want to be perceived, and all that kind of stuff. And reach out to artists, man. Like every day, reach out and